As we all know, selling on Amazon, the fees can get more and more ridiculous. And if there's any opportunity to claw back anything from Amazon, I'm 100% ears. One of the main ways to get reimbursed from Amazon is claiming from FBA reimbursement services for warehouse loss or damage. But there is one not often talked about reimbursement channel sellers can often get, and that is the customer return reimbursement, where the customer sent a return on the item but did not return it to FBA. In this video, I will show you how to claw back those customer return reimbursement. So if you want to know how to actually get these customer reimbursement and stick it to these Amazon shoppers that are trying to take advantage of the return policy, stay tuned. I'm Rick Wong, an Amazon seller and also the founder of SellerMetrics, an Amazon marketing agency. And if you're interested in content such as this, where we do deep dives in the latest Amazon news, tips, and hacks, I invite you to subscribe. Okay, so this is a new improved version of the same topic on a YouTube video I made a few years ago. This is backed by popular event because the audio on the first one kind of got cut off on the best part where I asked Amazon for reimbursement. So here it is for my audience. Hopefully it has no technical difficulties and a better improved one, an updated one for 2024. As I mentioned, there's a lot of resources and sources out there for damage and loss type of FBA reimbursement, but I have rarely seen resources for customer reimbursement that I'm about to show you, probably because it's more difficult type of analysis where you need to analyze different source of data. Before we get into the spreadsheets, it's good to look at both the customer return policy on the seller side and also the return policy on the customer side, which we will base our customer reimbursement framework on. Let's check out the customer claim return policy, and basically it tells you how we actually ask Amazon to get reimbursed for customer return claims. You can kind of see exactly how this analysis is done. So I think the first most important part is here. You can file a customer claim no sooner than 60 days and no later than 18 months. 18 months, they actually extend that since I last did the video. I think it was only like 100 and something days. Now they extend to like almost 1.5 years. So a little surprised at that. You can see the reason for a lot of these, like the 60 days, 18 months. So sometimes customer is refunded for your item but isn't returned to fulfillment within 60 days of the refund. That's why it's like no sooner than 60 days. So you have the customer return window, which is 30 days, and you also have the 30 days for them to initiate the actual refund and also return the product to the FBA warehouse within 30 days. So I think that is the logic of the 60 days there. So that will form our initial date range in terms of like when we could actually claim, the date range for the customer to file the return. So that is like the initial return data that we would analyze. So I'm also gonna distill this in 4 parts. So the first part is finding all the refunds within that particular date range that I just mentioned on the claim window. And then the refunds that are returned to FBA, you're gonna net out the ones that the customer actually set the return and return the actual product to FBA where the customer actually fulfilled their duties. Number 3, adjustment for reimbursement. So for ones that Amazon actually deemed that, okay, the customer should have returned it but didn't return it, Amazon reimburse you. Those are the ones. Sometimes Amazon automatically reimburse you, but sometimes they don't. So this is the situation that we are going to get the reimbursement for. So we're gonna adjust out those ones that Amazon reimbursed. And then for the ones left over, for the customer refunds that are left over after adjusting for 2 and 3, we are gonna send them to seller support to claim those particular refunds. I think the hardest part here is actually figuring out the date ranges. So in this analysis, you can see all the date ranges I actually set, and the actual spreadsheet, which I will link on the description below, will has all the formulas with all the actual date ranges. So the logic to the date ranges is as follows. This is today's date, so we're gonna do it based on today's dates, and then as the actual policy claims, we could do the claim window from any refunds 18 months ago. So 18 months ago, if I calculate using this particular website, 18 months ago would be this particular date, and then 60 days ago, which would be this date right here, and basically 60 minus today's date. And then we could figure out the actual dates. Actually, I'll get to that a bit later, but first let's get the data for all the refunds initiated between 18 months ago and also 60 days back as the end date. Let's go to actual the data here and the actual page here. So how do you actually get to this page is that you're gonna go to payments, and then you'll get to this page, and then you're gonna do the refund, and then you're gonna plunk in the dates here, and then plunk in the actual dates here, updates, and this is all your information. You download the data, right? And then you'll plunk it to my first sheet right here, and then you're gonna paste it from column D. These columns here I kind of set as formulas to analyze the other data, so don't touch them. So let's actually find, so I actually already download this data already, so I'm gonna just not gonna run it again. But for the viewers, you gotta have to load it and then download it and then copy and paste the actual data in spreadsheets from column D and on. Once we've actually done that, so this shows you all our refunds that have been initiated from 18 months back all the way from no sooner than 60 days, right? So that is our date range for our first part of the data analysis, which is all the refunds initiated between the dates of 18 months and 60 days. The second piece of data is basically anything that is returned to FBA. And how we actually gonna set the date range for this is it takes 30 days for the customer to initiate a refund. So I would add 30 days in front of 18 months as my start date for this, and then 30 days later after the end date of the refund initiated, because again, it takes 30 days for a customer to return the product as the end date for the refunds returned to FBA. And how to actually get this data is right here, this link under the fulfillment reports, and then under customer returns, we are going to download exactly that, the dates right here. And then request CSV. I've already got it download already, so I am going to on sheet 2 download the header here, and then we are going to import the actual data. That is the data for step 2, basically refunds that is returned to FBA. So we are going to net those ones out. So you can see our analysis, anything that is matched to the sheet number 2, it shows up with the order ID. Those are the ones that we're not going to be able to claim for. The last part of the data analysis is basically adjustments for reimbursement. So these are the reimbursement that actually Amazon automatically gave us for any non-customer return. So we are more or less going to use the same start date for the step 2, but we're going to use basically today's date as our end date. So we're just going to capture anything that Amazon has reimbursed us, whether it's basically until today. So if Amazon reimburses us, there's no point for us to really ask for reimbursement. They're gonna say, oh, we already reimbursed you. Those ones we will definitely just gonna net out. Let's plunk down this start date here, request the CSV and see what we get. We probably need to wait a little bit, might be quite a bit of data. Do it again. I'm going to import the data that I've downloaded, the CSV from the actual screen that I just showed you. The current sheet, comma, import. There we go. So that is the information. So you can see, go back to step the step 1 spreadsheet. So you can see these formulas already laid out. So this one would analyze this data set with the sheet number 2, while this column will analyze the data set with sheet number 3. So what you need to do here now is I think you need to drag down all the formulas, make sure that it's all dragged down. So it does analyze all the data in this spreadsheet. So what you need to do here is that you're gonna need to filter for NA on both columns here. So NA here, clear NA. And these are the customer reimbursement that Amazon has not reimbursed you for and the customer did not return the product. What you're gonna do, you're gonna go to Amazon and plug in these particular order IDs. I also will not do it more than 10 at a time, because if it's like a lot, Amazon will deem it as you're automating it and you're like really clogging up seller support. They don't like that. So I'll do it 10 at a time. So I'll do it like my first 10 here, and then I'll do my next 10. So now you are going to create a case with Amazon and basically ask Amazon for reimbursement for these customer IDs where they set a refund but not return the actual product itself within 60 days. So I have like a kind of like a script right here for you to use. So you are going to get help and resources, and then you are going to go to customer return reimbursements. There's actually a category for that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna provide a random ID. So I've done this before. Or they like to want you to claim one by one, but we're kind of gonna hack that a little bit. We're just gonna say this one right here, and then we are gonna plunk in this message. And we're gonna do our first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. So the message goes, okay, the following order IDs was issued a refund, but according to the fulfillment records, these buyers have not returned the product within the 30 days time frame. I request Amazon to recharge the customer and add back the refunded amount. So you're gonna submit and review, and that is how you actually get your refund. I've already done this before, so I'm not gonna send another one, but I think Amazon would be pretty good about it and probably give you, maybe not like 100% of it, but was able to probably process 80% of it, give me back like a good like $200. Again, I'm not a big seller right now, so I think for the bigger sellers, we'll definitely get a lot more back. That is how to get the customer refund reimbursement. That should allow you to kind of claw back a bit from your customer returns. Again, I think the hardest part of all this is figuring out the date range. But I think the spreadsheet here will help you out, and you can get a free copy, and I'll link that spreadsheet in the link below. This is only for the customer reimbursement only, but I will also make another video on the Amazon FBA loss and damage reimbursement. It's actually quite easy to do. No need to use these expensive reimbursement services. So if you want to get a notification for this video, please hit the subscribe button in the bottom. If you're an Amazon brand owner or seller that is looking for Amazon marketplace problem solver, like how I did with this reimbursement, whether it's perfecting your listing, creating funnels, or improving your Amazon advertising, be sure to schedule a discovery call with me on the link below. Until the next time, keep selling, keep hustling. I'll catch you on the next video. And this is Rick signing off.